Hey, good morning, everyone. How's it going today? Coach Alvarez here, back at you another episode, Coffee with Coach, on this awesome Friday morning. Hope you're up, doing well, got the mind in the right place. But as always, if not, let's put it in the right place. So today, going through the routine like I always do, listening to the goodies, listening to some more Dabble Sweeney stuff this morning. But I want to follow up the last couple days with some conversations that I've had with some students, with another one that I had yesterday to share with everyone, because this is a jiu-jitsu page. So I'm a jiu-jitsu coach, so I want to share with you guys that for those of you that do jiu-jitsu, even if you don't, you can still kind of put this into like everyday life kind of things, right? So the other day I was talking about finding the toughest training partners to roll with, not avoiding the tougher rounds and looking for the easy rolls all the time. Our academy's got we had shirts made many, many years ago, and it's kind of a hashtag, one of the things, like no easy rolls. That's just kind of the motto in the school. Just, it's just what it is. It's the atmosphere. It's the way we train. It's the way we get at it. And it's the way it should be. But I was talking to the class yesterday about the 10:30 class about, the toughest training partners and all that thing, all that good stuff. And then after class, I had a student come up to me and sit down and say, "Hey, coach, don't you benefit from rolling with people of lesser rank? Because I had mentioned that you get the most out of rolling with people that are as good, or if not better than you. That's where the growth comes from in anything, right?" So then after class, one of the students came down and sat down with me, and he goes, "Well, what about the ones that are lower rank and don't have as much time and experience? Like, don't you benefit from that?" And the answer is absolutely. Like, absolutely, you should be rolling with, people that are lesser rank and haven't been training as long, because you have to be able to. I was given this analogy like a long, long time ago, and it just stuck with me. Basically the analogy was given to me like when I want to try a new move, a new technique, I need to change my game up. I'm plateauing. I need to go into a different route with my game because I'm being stalled out. I was told one time that I should always hunt squirrels and rabbits first, and then I can go into going after the wild boar. Okay, so what that means is, and it's not disrespecting white belts. This is what it is. When you're a white belt, you don't really know much, and you're trying to learn, you're trying to figure things out. But let's say you're a blue belt, and you got a new technique, or you're trying to perfect a game. You're trying to get the mechanics down, and you're trying to put it into a live roll. You want to hunt the squirrels and rabbits first, some easy game basically, and that's going to be your white belt training partners. You're going to use them to perfect and tighten up some holes in the game to get it down, and then when you get that down, then you go hunt for the wild boar. Like I gave the example yesterday, like Rambo. For those of you guys are old enough to remember Rambo, the first Rambo, he's up in the tree, he's got the bandana tied around his head, excuse me, and he jumps down on the wild boar's back with this wooden stake, and he kills it. And he's a professional. He knows what he's doing. You're not going to do that if it's your first time hunting. You're going to hunt some rabbits and squirrels first. You're not going to hop up in a tree first time hunting and go after some wild boar with a wooden stake and just jump on its back and think you're going to kill it. So anyways, that's the mindset, is to, for sure, without a doubt, grab some training partners in class during the live rounds that you should be able to work on some things and work over and not be threatened by a lot of different things throughout the round, so that you can perfect and get better at some certain parts of your game that you want to get better at. For instance, let's say I have some students right now that are really struggling off their back. They want to be on top like everyone else, right? And some students, they come in, they get really comfortable really quick off their back. Then I have a lot where that's not where their comfort zone is at. They want to push away and get back up to their feet. They want to wrestle. They want to play the top game all the time. But let's say that's you, right? And you want to work on getting more comfortable being off your back. Well, you wouldn't go grab a black belt or a brown belt to figure that stuff out with, right? You would want to maybe grab a white belt that you know that you can work with, to where you can let them start off in the mount position or side control, or hey, let's start, I'm gonna start with you can start with the back mount hooks and seat belt, and we're gonna work from this position. I'm gonna work my way out. But if you did that with a black belt, like say for instance me, and you're just now trying to figure out how to work out of the mount, you probably won't escape all that much. I'll probably just keep you there for a while. But you grab a white belt, have them mount you, have them put you in side control. The threat isn't as bad as if you were rolling with a higher rank, stuff like that. So then you can work on getting out of these bad positions slowly but surely. And then you get mounted by a black belt, brown belt. Then you can, you'll be able to work your way out better because you've been practicing on it with someone that you can practice on. So the answer is, roll with some lower ranks for sure. But that should not be the everyday thing. That should not be the everyday thing. And I do have students at some point, throughout the years I've been coaching, where that's what they look for. That's the comfort zone. I want to roll with easy rolls. I want the rounds that make me feel good. I want the rounds that, I can go home and, brag to my wife of how I tapped everyone out, or my girlfriend, or whatever. That's an ego thing. It's a pride thing. It's like you just want to be the top dog. So you just go around the room, you avoid eye contact with all the ones that are tough, and then you look for the ones that are like, oh yeah, I know I can beat them. And that's where you gravitate to. So when I'm coaching, I'm on the mat, I'm always looking to see where students go to. It's just what it is. I want to see what they're made of. I want to see where their eyes go and where they gravitate to. And like I said yesterday, I think I talked about it yesterday, I will change those training partners. And there goes the eye rolls, the size, oh man, I wanted to roll with so-and-so. Yeah, but you just had an easy round. So why are you trying to get 2 rounds or 3 rounds in a row to make yourself feel good? So I'll switch training partners to where I know that the individuals will be challenged and be, forced to have to work out of bad positions. Again, you're only going to grow, just like in life, when you're faced up against tough situations, tough positions, tough challenges. There's minimal growth in rolling with, so-called squirrels and rabbits, the easy game. It's just, and some people, man, like I said, they've literally have quit my academy because it's too tough. Their game isn't working. Their, the things that they're trying to do, it's just not panning out the way they want. So they'll leave and switch and go somewhere else to where everything's working, everything's feeling good, everything's, every round's a win. The big fish in the small pond mindset. But then if they ever come back, they're just going to get smashed and destroyed, and they're going to feel even worse because their jiu-jitsu is worse because they've never really grew, It's just one of those things where it's like, you get you hear this stuff all the time, you hang around, 9 broke people, you're going to be the 10th one, well, if you're hanging around 9 very smart, individuals that got their stuff together and they got money, and they're doing better than you, then most likely you'll be that 10th one because you're going to step your game up and learn and see how these other people that are doing better than you are doing better than you. And then you'll add that to your life and everything else and enhance it and get better versus hanging out with people that aren't doing much, lazy, don't exercise, there's no growth. And there's just no growth there. So, just wanted to get that point across. So if you're new to jiu-jitsu and you come across this video, or you've been doing jiu-jitsu for a little while and you're avoiding those tough training partners, it's only going to hurt you in the long run. Yes, you should absolutely grab a couple white belts, or let's say you're, purple belt and you're going to grab a blue belt. I don't know. These days it's tough because, back in the day when I was coming up, there was a significant difference in belt ranks. Nowadays, there's not. I mean, you got tough blue belts. I mean, blue belts that are world class, white belts are tough. So, it doesn't really matter. At least in my academy, it's always going to be tough wherever you look. And everyone makes those comments. We get that. I get that all the time. Like, man, coach, there's just no easy rounds, man. Everyone's bringing that heat. but that's just the atmosphere. That's the culture that we have in there. So it's going to be tough. But anyways, you know, if you need to work on a specific game, you want to try something new out, then you would definitely want to work on that with some guys that are of lesser skill level than you, so that you can try to get that game down. But that should not be every round. That should not be every round, at least not in my academy. That's a no-go. I will switch you up in a heartbeat. And then if you don't like it, you just don't like it, you can go train somewhere else, which people have done, you know, to make themselves feel better. But that doesn't mean their jiu-jitsu is getting better. It's just they're feeling better because they're winning all their rounds. I don't want to win all my rounds. I mean, I do. Mentally, I do. Like, mentally, I want to win all my rounds. But, you know, all of those that watch me train in the training room, they see me go towards the guys that give me the most trouble. You know, I want to be challenged. I want to figure this thing out. I want to figure out why these things aren't working versus, well, this ain't working. It don't feel good. How about we just go to somewhere else where I can just make myself feel good? And that's just really what it is. Me, I want the challenges. I want the toughest roles. I want to figure out. I just want to figure it out. Like, that's the beauty about jiu-jitsu. It's just it's more mental, excuse me, than it is physical. But some people can't handle that mental beatdown or the physical beatdown, so they just quit. And it is what it is. Like some people might frown upon what I just said, but it's just. Jiu-jitsu will definitely show. I was telling this to the students the other day. The mat is the truth. It's just the truth. You can talk a good game. You can talk about how smart you are, how much money you got, how much, you know, how many street fights you had back in the day, how much. Once we shake hands and roll, it's the truth comes out. You know, it's just what it is. You know, people will mentally break and fold because they are just getting their will, someone else's will is being imposed on them, and they're being dominated. And they don't like that feeling where, like I said the other day, once you embrace that, you know, once you embrace those feelings, and you accept that, and you know that it's the way it's supposed to be, everything starts to get easier. And now, being where I'm at now, like I had a student yesterday, even after that, you know, ask me some more personal kind of questions. And the answer was pretty much kind of the same thing. Like, you know, I've been through so many things in my life, and had people try to test me in many different ways. Life tests me in many different ways that I understand, like, this is the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be this way. You know, sometimes you get the thing of, why me? Why now? Why has this got to happen now? Like, everything's going so good. You know, why do I have to deal with this now? What did I do wrong to deal with this? And it's not that I really did anything wrong. It's just, it's time for a test. It's time to put up or shut up. It's time to put, you know, trying to, you know, see what you're made of, kind of thing. And it's just always going to be that way. So I've pretty much accepted, like, when things just go bad for no reason, you know, like, all right, what's on the other side of this bad thing here? What's on the other side of this tough situation? What's on the other side of this tough role here? Growth. You know, gold medals in life to figure out, you know, this is where it's supposed to be here for a reason. So instead of running from it, you know, let me go towards it and see what it's all about. And I just honestly feel like once you get that mindset, life just becomes a lot easier, because it's like, it's just never going to get easier. It's just not. And at least in my academy, jiu-jitsu is never going to get easier for you as far as the training, because my whole goal is to make everyone so good that no matter where you go to, white, blue, purple, you know, belts, they're all going to be tough. The whole room is tough. The kids are tough. The teenagers are tough. I mean, it's just the way it's built, and it's the way it'll always be built as long as I'm still here. So anyways, just to recap, if you're just hopping on, you know, someone asked me, well, you know, can't you benefit from rolling with people of lesser skill level than you? And yeah, absolutely you can, but not as much as rolling with someone that's going to, you know, put you in some very uncomfortable positions and challenge you and just give you a hard time and frustrate you. That's where the growth is at. And if you're not growing in those situations, it's because you're not asking questions, or maybe you're not asking the right questions, that kind of thing, you know. But to just walk in and tap everyone out in all your rounds, yeah, that's not happening in my school, man. That's just not happening, you know. as soon as I see, like, I feel like you're just dodging everyone else, I'll switch you up in a heartbeat to see what you're really made of. And if you're not made of what I think you're made of, then you'll just quit, and that's it. I want people in the school, in my academy, that are built to last, you know, on the mat and off the mat. All right. So anyways, got more chores to do, and you know, got a 3-mile run to hit, and then I got jiu-jitsu here in a little bit. So catch you guys on the next one. Squirrels and rabbits versus the wild boar. Bring on the wild boar all day. We'll see you. Have a great weekend.